term that. He's a director.
Yeah, they don't like it when I just say resident hottie.
He might like that.
Speaking of people who could get me in trouble, here is Stephen Amadeo
Right?
from Houston.
Screwed up every freaking time, and I always call him something different, and he's like, Jeff, that's wrong. Jeff, that's wrong.
Okay, I'm gonna.
And I'm always like conscious
Yeah.
about it when I introduce him now because I've screwed it up. I feel
So what
bad.
you're saying? So I asked Sam if it was Amadeo, and Sam said yes, but I shouldn't
I
probably
don't
trust
think that's
that.
right.
Okay.
Because I called him that one time, or something similar to that, and he corrected me. It's something you wouldn't think.
Okay.
The way that he pronounces it, it's the Italian.
Oh, Amadeo.
Yes, it's like that. It's much more similar to that
Then Latin.
than the first one.
Okay.
Oh, are the microphones muted?
Oh.
We're live.
Oh, we are?
Oh.
Here you go. Yep.
A very pleasant good Saturday to you. We are in Las Vegas at Sunset Field number 13, and we're about to crown a champion. This is a B Division championship game, and it features the Rockets from the District of Columbia against the Cascades from Seattle. Alongside Dr. Joel Tremblay, our on-site engineers Mitch Barnes, Tyler Forster, Elliot Turner, and our off-site producer back in San Diego, Roman Jimenez. Rich Siegel, excited to be able to bring this game to you. A B Division championship game, again, between the DC Rockets and the Seattle Cascades.
This is really exciting. This was not the game that was originally scheduled for this field at this time, but we are thrilled to have it. For those who watched our last broadcast of the D Division third, fourth place game, this is going to be a couple levels of softball up. The difference is these players can hit home runs. Each team gets 3 over the game in the B Division, and you're just probably going to see a much higher level of play in terms of defense and some balls going further out into the outfield than you saw in D.
The pitcher for the DC Rockets is Fidel Reyes, and before we begin, Fidel asked me to give a shout out to his partner Mark Smalls and his friends Jake Broadman and Michael Cohn, and we are more than happy to be doing that for Fidel. They are the home team of Jersey.
That makes more sense because I couldn't figure out why he was filing a protest with you, which was the piece of paper he wrote those shout outs on. So
the umpires for this game, Al Munkus will be behind the plate. A.J. Munkus, his son, will be at first base. At second base, Joel's friend, Neil Kovrig. And at third base, Michael Carlton. And Al Munkus told me there's more than 80 years of experience on the field umpiring this game, and we're thrilled about that too. So the leadoff batter is going to be Jason Newland. The game is a strike. Swung on, and here's a fly ball hit out into left field. And it's a home run. Batter with a home run, and that'll bring up Lee Mesestrano.
And I don't think anybody is going to complain about getting a run on the board quickly, but when you only get 3 home runs in the game, sometimes you want to save them for when people are on base.
And Mesestrano swings and hits one to right field. We lose the ball there. It's fielded by the right fielder and the throw into second base. And it's out, and that's out number 1. And that'll bring up James Campbell, the first baseman. Campbell takes the first pitch for a ball. Umpire says bring it up a little. So let's see if he does. He does. And it's a ball, 3 balls and 1 strike. And here's the next delivery. Strike called.
Kids in the outfield are playing what is a little more typical in softball with the 10 players, which is they have 4 outfielders and then 4 infielders and the pitcher and the catcher.
Here's a ground ball to second base, and just beyond the reach of the second baseman and on into right center field for a hit. Runner moves from second. The throw goes over the third baseman's glove, but it hits the fence. It did not go into the dugout. And so it'll be runners at first and third, and 1 out for Joey Whirl. There'll be a courtesy runner at third base. And the first pitch to Joey Whirl, the right fielder,
looks like that was a little bit deep.
Is a ball. And that pitch is inside for a ball. Gage Webster circle. And that pitch is a strike. 3 balls and 2 strikes. We loaded. Chris Dott will be the batter. He is the middle fielder, or a new term that I just learned over in the Seattle dugout. We have on their team's lineup sheet the letter W, and that stands for whirl. Or no, not whirl, excuse me. That fly ball is hit out into left field, the catch is made. Everybody will move up. A run has scored. As James Campbell comes across the plate with the second run of the game. Elmore to third, and Whirl to second, and that'll bring up Boogie Long.
Yes, so that W is for wheel.
Wheel.
And we'll probably see them, and I'm thinking that means you're going to see 5 players in the infield for the Cascades when they get out there.
And that ball is hit into foul territory, caught by the first baseman, and the inning is over. 2 runs to did score here in the bottom of the top of the first. We go to the bottom of the first. The Seattle Cascades grab the early lead, 2-0, with the DC Rockets coming to bat.
And during these changeovers, we will take some time to tell you about our sponsors. This is one of my favorites. One of our sponsors is Major League Baseball. Major League Baseball is proud to partner with International Pride Softball for the 2024 International Pride Softball World Series. Major League Baseball is committed to ensuring that we have a welcoming and inclusive culture where everyone's voice matters and where people of all races, ethnicities, genders, gender identities, sexual orientations, ages, religions, disabilities, and viewpoints can all thrive. Major League Baseball, a great partner, and Major League Baseball coming here to Las Vegas over the next few years.
The to-be former Oakland Athletics. This will be that franchise's at least 4th city when they get in to Las Vegas. We go to the bottom of the first. Chris Roach, the left fielder, is leading off for DC. His team trails early on 2-0 in the B championship game of the 2024 Gay Softball World Series. The pitcher throws left-handed. There is a base hit in the right center field off the bat of Chris Roach. He is about a third of the way to second base and decides to go back to first.
And looking out at the infield here, you can see that the Cascade are deploying 5 people in the infield. You see third base, sort of a traditional shortstop who's moved maybe a little closer to third, and then someone almost right up the middle, just a little to the third base side of the second base bag, and then first and second in their sort of normal positions again.
Here's Frank Daly. First pitch is a ball, and the ball hit the umpire in the face off the ricochet off the dirt.
One job, catcher, one job. Protect the umpire.
Yeah. And that pitch hits the plate. 3 balls and a strike. And that pitch is a ball. First 2 on, and here's Chad Menke pitch to Menke. Outside.
Both pitchers having a little trouble with the strike zone early here in the game.
That pitch is also outside. Boogie Long is the pitcher for Seattle. And that pitch is outside, and the bases will be loaded with nobody out. A single and then back-to-back walks, and the batter is going to be Darren Lucas White.
And this is where you would like to use that home run. And got to think that if Lucas White is batting fourth, he probably has that kind of power.
First pitch to him. Hit the plate. 7 straight out of the strike zone. That's a ball. 8 straight out of the strike zone. Lucas White steps out for a moment or two and now stands back in. Roach at third, Daly at second, Menke at first in the next one. It's ball 4, and 3 consecutive walks plate the first run. Excuse me. Still nobody out. Jesse Tucker, the batter.
And pitcher just, I think, trying to find his zone. It can be hard there when you're short, and so then you put a little more on it, and then it goes too deep. So finding that spot where the arc is right to get it in there and land close behind the plate is sometimes tough.
Chris Roach is going to come in and be a courtesy runner at second base for Chad Menke. There's a swing and a fly ball hit out into left center field. It's shallow. Coming in, 32 is now blocking the view. The ball drops. 2 runs are going to score, and it is 3-1. Gustavo Gerbolini, the batter. There are still nobody out. And the first pitch is inside. A strike call. Here's the next one. Swung on and lined into right field, and that ball is down for a hit. Lucas White around third on his way home, and it is a 4-2 game as Lucas White scores from second base. Tucker to second.
I'm also getting a pepperoni.
Zone as well. The count is full at 3-2 with runners at first and second. Wu swings and hits one in the air to shallow right field. Second baseman going out and making the catch. And that is the first out in the bottom of the first. Tucker at second, Gerbolini at first. The batter is going to be Matt Benoit. And Benoit, that's from the right. Benoit swings and bounces one to the shortstop. He bobbles the ball out of his glove, and everybody will be safe. Charlie Bruno will be the batter. He tried to go to run to second base before he had secured the ball, and so the sacks are loaded. Tucker, Gerbolini, and Benoit on the base pass, and the batter, Charlie Bruno, the catcher.
Yep, I think that was Gott out there, and I think he had 2 on his mind to start that play.
Charlie Bruno takes a strike call, a ball and 2 strikes. There. Strikes.
Looks like Tucker at third could tell that one was going fair, but Gerbolini almost met him at third base, thinking he needed to get home fast.
Charlie Bruno tries to add to his team's lead, and there is a fly ball on the infield, one-handed catch by the shortstop, and that's the second out of the inning, and will bring up Aaron Fishbach, the extra hitter.
So with 4 in, the Rockets have taken the lead here in the bottom of the first.
And here is the first pitch to him. Strike called.
Boogie Long on the mound has found his spot now.
This has all been done with singles and walks. Fishbach swings and hits one on the infield, and the pop-up is caught by the pitcher, and the inning is over. 4 runs scored for the DC Rockets here in the bottom of the first, and our scores, we go to the top of the second. The DC Rockets 4, the Seattle Cascades 2 on the Cloud Sports Network.
And 4 runs gives the Rockets the lead, but it could have been a lot worse for the Cascades in that inning with the bases loaded. They got some nice timely pop-up outs, limited the damage. They'll have their 8, 9, 10 hitters up coming into the top of the second inning. It looks like the Cascades are batting 10 while the Rockets are batting 11. You can bat up to 12, the 10 who are playing out on the field, and then 1 or 2 either extra hitters or I guess designated players is what we're calling them as well.
The leadoff batter will be the pitcher, Boogie Long. He will be followed by Mike Bates and Jeremy Frank. The pitcher, the center fielder, the catcher. Left-handed batter takes Fidel's first pitch, and he bounces one into right center field for a leadoff single here in the top of the second. So the outfield as the center fielder. So the leadoff batter on. There's a line drive over the pitcher's head and on into center field for a base hit. The ball is bobbled momentarily by the right center fielder. Karam's away from him, but not far enough for an advancement by Boogie Long. So it'll be runners at first and second and nobody out.
The Cascade is the number 1 seed, and the Rockets are the number 2 seed.
There's a line drive into right field, and that ball is down for a hit. It'll be first and second and third. The runner at second base, Long, had to hold up to make sure that the ball would not be caught, and so he was able to get to third base. That's where he's standing. Bates to second, Jeremy Frank on at first. We go back to the top of the order, and here is Jason Newland, who scored his team's first run in the top of the first. He swings and lifts one into deep left center field. That ball's got some carry. The out is made as the catch is made, and a run will score on the sacrifice fly. The other 2 runners move up to second and third. That didn't miss by much from going out.
It did not. It looked like the left center fielder out there had to take a little bit of a jump, too. I'm not sure how close that was to the fence that he picked it from, but he does get the out. That was a hard-hit line drive, though.
Lee Mesistrano there is a fly ball head out into shallow left field. Left fielder comes on, does not have a play. It drops in for a hit. Mike Bates comes in to score. Jeremy Frank held second, and Mesistrano on at first.
And we'll try to work in here how these teams got here. So the Cascade, the number 1 seed, beat the Las Vegas Laser Sports 19-14, then tied the San Francisco Typo, then beat the Phoenix Base Invaders 13-11, and then beat the Sea Badgers from the Badgers from Seattle 17-8.
James Campbell, the batter. It's one high and deep to left center field, and that ball is out of here.
And the lead at 7-4.
And here's Zach Elmore. He lines one into right center field. That ball is going to be down for a hit. It'll be a double. Darren Lucas White made an attempt. So it's a double, and still just the one out. The double off the bat of Zach Elmore brings up Joey Whirl. He takes the ball.
So after beating their hometown friends, the Cascade beat again Las Vegas Laser Sports.
Oh, sorry.
And then beat the Knoxville Cyclones, and then they were beaten by these DC's Rockets 16-13.
Catch is made by the right fielder. The other runner tags and goes to third base. So Joey Whirl is out on a fly ball to right field. That is the second out of the inning. Gage Webster will be the batter. Excuse me. Yes, Gage Webster will be the batter, and Chris Scott moves into the on-deck circle. So there is a runner at third base, beat at 5-4 here in the top of the second, and the first pitch is a strike call. That pitch is the ball. And that pitch a little deep.
And so even though the Cascades are the number one seed, it's actually the second-seeded Rockets
who
are
a line
undefeated.
drive out into left center field, and that ball will be caught very easily, and the inning is over. However, 3 runs did come across for Seattle in the top of the second. I'm sorry. 5 runs came across in the top of the second, and we go to the bottom of the second. It's now 7-4 for Seattle.
And we'll tell you now about another one of our amazing sponsors, and that is WWE. Founded in 1953, the WWE is a global integrated media and entertainment company. WWE is now in its 3rd year of partnership with International Pride Softball. Once again, WWE offered complimentary tickets to local International Pride softball players throughout Pride Month, and WWE is happy to be a part of this fantastic Gay Softball World Series. So just finishing off that last thought, so it is the Captain seed, but it's actually the DC Rockets who are the undefeated team coming out of the winner's bracket. So if the Rockets win, then this tournament is over and they would be crowned the B Division champions. If the Cascade can win this game, we got to play another one because you can't be out of the tournament until you've lost twice, and that would be the Rockets' first loss.
Fidel Reyes to lead off the pitcher. He is the last batter in their lineup. And then we'll go back to the top of the order for Chris Roach and Frank Daly. The first pitch is a ball. And that pitch is a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fidel swings and he grounds one to the shortstop. Over to first. The throw is wide. A tag is made at first base, and the runner is out. 6-3 on the putout. Nice play there by Lee Mezestrano, the first baseman. All right, that'll bring up the top of the order. Chris Roach, who singled and scored in the first inning, and he lines one on into right field, and that ball is in for a single. And a 1-out base runner for DC.
And these Rockets got here. They started by beating the Phoenix Roadrunners 19-4, then lost to the Knoxville Cyclones 10-5, then beat the Dallas Texas Stampede 20-14, and beat the St. Louis Hustle 13-7.
There's a strike called.
Once the tournament started, they beat the Knoxville Southern Assassins 24-12, then the Dallas Rhinos 16-15.
There's a liner hit out into right center field. The ball is down for a hit. It'll be first and second, and 1 out on a single by Frank Daly.
Then again, they beat the Seattle Cascade 16-3, and now we're playing them one more time.
Chad Menke, the batter. Darren Lucas White on deck. And the first pitch is a strike call. Here's the next one. There's a ground ball hit up the middle, past the diagonal of the middle fielder, off his glove. This is going to score a run. Middle fielder frustrated with the fact that he didn't come up with the ball, but he made a great dive to get there.
Definitely did, and not really much he could do. He was on the other side of the bag. That's where they started with that, with a right-handed hitter in there, so just barely got the glove on it.
So the game is now 7-5, and the batter is Darren Lucas White. Jesse Tucker on deck. That pitch is a strike called. It's 2-2. And the next one swung on, and he goes opposite field in the left center field, and that ball to the fence, and I guess it went over the fence. It's beyond the fencing out there. Left center fielder or the left fielder holding his glove up, so it will go as a ground rule double.
And so usually they're going to get 2 bases on that. So Menke, who might have been able to score if that had played out all the way, is going to be held at third, getting 2 bases for the double, and Lucas White on second.
And here is Tucker. A illegal pitch, says home plate umpire Al Monkus. And that is illegal. 3 balls and 1 strike.
Tucker with a single in his first at bat.
And a ball. So the bases are loaded for Gustavo Girolini. He singled in his first at bat. The on-deck batter is Eric Wu.
And that does set up the force, but I don't think that was an intentional walk.
Swung on and a grounder to short. Over to second for 1 and no relay. They get it out, but a run does score.
Let's go!
Third. Tucker forced at second, and Eric Wu will be the batter.
But Menke makes it in and brings us to a tie game at 7 each.
Bouncing ball back to the pitcher. Wu ran, stopped, and then figured he'd run again. Got halfway before the throw was made, and the inning is over. 3 runs scored in the bottom of the second. We go to the top of the third. Our score, 7-7, here on the Cloud Sports Network. We start the top of, or the third inning, and the first pitch off the bat of Chris Scott is hit out to the left field, and that's the first out of the inning. Boogie Long to bat next. Pitch to him. The left-hander swings and lifts one in the air to shallow center field, and the ball gets down for a base hit. It's a courtesy runner Courtesy runner for Boogie Long. Mike Bates takes the strike call. The next one is hit in the air to deep. And it's a home. A 2-run homer gives his team the lead again at 9-7.
Actually, 3-run homer, I should believe. Got and Long and Bates all scored on that one. No?
We'll check it. Here is Jeremy Franken. He lifts on up the middle and on into center field for a base hit.
But by my count, that was the 3rd home run the
right.
Cascades have hit. And so that means they should be done with home runs.
Jason Newland lines one over right center field for a hit. That ball rolls to the fence. A run will, nope, they will hold the runner at third. The runner tries to get back to second. He's now caught in a rundown. Now the runner at third coming home and he's out.
And gets into third, but as you say, the out made it home, so we will get a score check in here fairly soon.
I have a fly out to start the inning, but that could be wrong. We'll see. Here's the first pitch to Lee Mesistrano, and it's outside for a ball. And that pitch is a strike called. After the half inning is done. So Mesistrano waiting for the next delivery, and he swings. Here's a fly ball hit out into right center field. Lucas White makes the catch, and it's a sacrifice fly. Jason Newland scores. So you're right. That was a 3-run homer. That's now 2 outs here, and nobody on. I have now 4 runs in the inning.
As do I, with 1 runner cut down at the plate, and then the second out made on that fly out to Lucas White.
There's a roller to short, and it gathers a lot of dust. The throw is wide past the first baseman, but no further advancement by the runner. For Zach Elmore, batting for the 3rd time in this game, has reached twice, and the first pitch to him is bounced up the middle and beyond the second baseman and on into center field for a base hit. James Campbell held at second base. It's first and second for Joey World. There's a line drive hit into center field. That's another hit. Campbell coming around third. He will score easily. No play on him. And it's first and second now, and that is the 5th run in the inning.
Of the Cascades.
Gage Webster, the batter. There'll be a courtesy runner. Ben Nelson will be the courtesy runner at second base. He's running for Zach Elmore. And Joey Worrell at first for Gage Webster. It's a 5-run inning. Webster lines one into left field for a base hit. around third and coming home to score is Nelson, the pinch runner. And so they have batted around here. Chris Scott will bat for the second time this inning.
And that was an impressive throw from the outfield to get to the catcher. It was just up in front a little bit, and there was no way he was going to be able to get back and make the tag.
A 6-run inning so far. There's a ground to ball to short. Shortstop flips to third base, and the inning is over. 6 runs do score for Seattle here in the third inning. We go to the bottom of the third. Our score now is Seattle 13 and DC 7 here on the Cloud Sports Network.
Thank you.
I will apologize for the ladder up for just a few moments.
How close?
And Rich is going to take a break, and we're going to have a little bit of an interview for you. We are happy to be here in Las Vegas for the 2024 International Pride Softball World Series. Next year, we will be in Houston, Texas, and the host committee is led by my guest. And my first question for you is going to be, because I asked multiple board members how to do it, how do you say your last name?
Amadio.
Amadio.
It's Italian. Yeah.
Okay, I had Amadio and Amadeo. Amadio, we got it.
A lot.
I figured it sounded like that.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. We're really excited for next year, and we're learning a lot from this year and taking a lot of information in. We've got a large Houston contingency here, asking a lot of questions, working on different committees, and we're going to make it a great experience in Houston.
So, tell us how it ended up that you got the World Series in Houston, because I know it wasn't exactly the normal process.
No, actually, we were going for 2026, but the board came to us and said, hey, we don't have anybody bidding. And Cassidy, my counterpart, assistant executive director, he came up to me and he said, Steven, they want us to do the World Series in 2025. I looked at him, I said, all right, let's go. Let's roll with it. So we're a year behind, but we can do it. We have a great, great team. And everyone we have in every position is experienced enough to be able to help produce a great tournament.
So I know at the meetings, we have the meetings before the tournament, and you showed some of the amazing places we're going to be. I think one of the most impressive thing is Houston seems to have indoor venues that can accommodate the 3,000 people who are going to be coming.
We do, actually. We're going through a contract right now with Live Nation at 713 Music Hall and also Bayou Music Center. 713 is going to be our projected, no, it will be our opening ceremonies, and then we're working with Bayou Music Center to house. We're going to have a great, great player experience.
And this is going to be the second tournament in Houston in 2025?
I'm glad you said that. So we're going to have our Lone Star Classic, which is our annual tournament, which is going to be a fundraiser for our GSWS. And then we'll have in October the GSWS.
Okay. That's great. And then
September.
In September. So we are in October here because like Las Vegas is so hot.
Oh, gosh.
Texas, not always cooler, but cooler a little earlier in the year than it is here in Las Vegas.
That's right. We did a 50-year survey, and let's just say there's not a lot of the wet stuff. I don't want to say that R word. We're trying not to say the R word.
Well, I think that's great. So, what other kinds of things are going on there? What other events are we going to have during the Houston World Series in 2025?
So one of the big thing is we really want to focus on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. We want to make sure that everybody that comes to our city is welcomed with open arms, and we take care of everybody. Even within our daily events that we're going to have sober events that hopefully we can work out at the hotel, and we're going to have a conference room that is going to be completely transformed, and it's going to look like a whole different atmosphere when they walk, when they walk in. We all know that unfortunately Texas isn't 100% welcoming, but you know what? It's in my heart, and I've told my committee that I will go down as being one of the most welcoming World Series that we can ever have.
And I know we've been to tournaments in Texas, and understanding what you say, it's always felt very welcoming. And one of the things they do to welcome us is there's something called a Texas Sports Fund. Do you want to say a few words about that to help us out?
So the Texas Sports Grant is being worked through with the Harris County Houston Sports Authority. We have submitted it, and we're looking for a great number.
All right. Well, thank you for coming by. We're going to get back and rolling with this D championship game that is very exciting, and we look forward to seeing you in Houston next year.
Thank you, Joel. Have a great day.
You too.
Thanks. Thank you. It's yours.
So we didn't get to talk to Steve quite as long, but Rich, any runs scored in that inning?
No, there were a couple of hits and 3 pop-ups. So it is 13-7. For Seattle will be Boogie Long. Is a ball.
So we asked before the game and we're told that the B division this year is allowed to hit 3 home runs. So any other ball over the fence, like not quite that one I don't think, is going to be an out.
Boogie Long hits one that drops into left center field for a leadoff double. Darren Lucas White, blessed with excellent speed, did not miss catching that ball by much, but it did drop and a couple hops to the fence. And here is a ground ball to short off the bat of Mike Binks, and he's out. No advancement by Long at second base. And Jeremy Frank will be the batter.
Nice play by the shortstop there to catch that little short hop.
And there's first pitch hitting and ball hit out into right field. It's in for a hit. First and third now with one out. And that'll bring up Jason Newland, the leadoff batter. Nice to see all these people out here today. And the first pitch to Newland is lined into left center field, and that gets down. Left fielder ranging over to his right. Is Long.
And some of those balls in the outfield may be landing. It looks like the Rockets have pulled in somebody to have a fifth infielder because so many balls were going up the middle. So they're down to 3 outfielders to cover those gaps.
And there is Lee Mesostrano lifting one into right center field. Darren Lucas White makes the catch. Runners tag and one will score, the other to third. Jeremy Frank has scored. It's the second run in the inning. Newland to third on the fly ball. It's a sacrifice fly. And Campbell will be the batter. He's batting for the 4th time in as many innings. And he lifts one in the air on the first base side and out of play.
Nice play made by a fan, barehanded grab, but unfortunately doesn't count for the Rockets. And Campbell, as you say, has been up 4th at bat. He has scored every other time he has been at the plate.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Fidel Reyes' pitch is lifted in the air to deep left center field. And that's inning. And could that possibly be right?
So that ball, I think Campbell knew it when he hit it, that it would. I think it went over the fence, and because they've already hit their 3 home runs, that's an out. I lost track of the ball. I couldn't see for sure, but it certainly off the bat looked like it was going to be headed for past the fence.
Too much sugar. Here.
So Rockets have some work to do. I have this at 15-7, Rich.
And that's what I have. The first pitch to Frank Daly is a ball.
One thing in the Rockets' favor is they have not hit any of their home runs yet, so if they can get some players on and have the ability, they could score some runs in a hurry.
3 balls and a strike to Frank Daly, who has been on twice and has scored twice. And he takes the strike called. He made that advancement towards first base that never works. And the full count pitch popped up. Shallow left field, a little coming in is the left fielder, and he makes the catch. That's Newland, and that's out number 1 here in the fourth inning. McGee. And the time is called. They're going to have a conversation about something.
Not entirely sure what this would be about. One thing that does come up is whether an out after the appropriate number of home runs is an inning-ending out or just an out. It didn't matter in that last inning because they're already 2 down. Not sure what else they might be talking about. Doesn't seem like anything has come up this inning that would be worthy of discussion that way. Still chatting. Chad
all
Menke
4 of them
hanging out by the plate. The only thing that has happened this inning was a fly ball to left field that was a pretty clear catch, so I don't think this is about that. It's got to be about something else. Could also be checking on the clock or something like that.
All right, what we do know is that Chad Menke will be the batter. And here is the first pitch to him. Strike called. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the next one. Swung on and bounced up the middle. Middle fielder has it. The wheel over to first, and that's an out.
If we can, at the break or when the umpire comes back, we'll try to find out what decision that 70-plus years of umpiring experience made out there out by the mound.
Darren Lucas White has reached on a single. He has also doubled. He bats from the left side. He's the cleanup batter. And the first pitch to him, swung on and bounced to the shortstop. Shortstop bobbles the ball, and as fast as Lucas White is, he has no play.
It was going to be a hard play even if he had fielded that ball cleanly.
Yes. And here's Jesse Tucker. Right-handed batter. Goes almost offered at the first one, but he held back. And the pitch was a ball. Balls and a strike. Here's the next delivery. And that pitch is a strike called. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here is the 2-2 delivery. He swings after a low pitch and golfs one into right center field for a hit. Lucas White around third. He will score easily. It'll be a double for Jesse Tucker. Be the batter. First pitch is a ball. And the next one is a strike called. Giurbellini has singled, he has driven in a run, and he has also bounced back to the pitcher. Eric Wu is in the on-deck circle. Giurbellini swings and hits one in the air to shallow right field. Coming on is the right fielder. He makes the catch, and the inning is over. 1 run did score, and it is the 8th run of the game. 15-8 is our score. Seattle over DC Rockets as we go to the 5th inning here on the Cloud Sports Network.
And all the umpires coming over here to the backstop, probably talking to some folks from the tournament about whatever they were talking about before. I wrote down about 12:10 for the start of this game, so probably we have something in the neighborhood of 10 minutes left.
Okay.
And something they might be looking at is sometimes the championship games do go longer. So this is a championship game, so we'll see if that is part of what's going on here. The games we've shown you before today have been 60-minute games.
Zach Elmore is going to be the leadoff batter.
Blues,
We
who
may
sometimes
never know what-
refer to
what's
themselves as,
happening.
they refer to themselves sometimes as the best team on the field, and they got their decision made, whatever it was.
Zach Elmore has reached 3 times and he has scored a run. He bats from the left side, and the first pitch hit the plate. And so the count is 2-1. And one batter, 1 out, 3 outs. And so the at-bat for Seattle ends after 1 batter. And we go to the bottom of the 5th. DC needs to get some runs. They trail by 7. It's 15-8. Eric Wu is 0 for 2. He has popped to the second baseman. He has bounced back to the pitcher. And he is the leadoff batter here in the home half of the 5th inning. And the first pitch is low for a ball. Pitch deemed illegal by Al Munkus. He says he has been umpiring for our association for the last, since '89.
2 balls, 1 strike.
2 balls and a strike. And that pitch is a strike called. It is 2-2 to Eric Wu. Eric Wu swings and hits one to deep left field. The ball's got some carry, but not enough as the left fielder is able to make the catch, and that is out number 1 here in the bottom of the 5th, and we'll bring up Matt Benoit. Moving into the on-deck circle is Charlie Bruno.
And it looks like Volunteers, I think that's Connor Franz out there, is bringing some more balls for the umpire. I have faced this in tournaments as well. Those balls don't always come back quickly from over the fence.
First pitch to Benoit is popped up on the infield. The pitcher makes the catch. And that's out number 2 for Charlie Bruno. Charlie Bruno has reached on an error. He is also, he has popped to the shortstop and popped to the catcher in foul territory in his last at-bat. Aaron Fishbach moves into the on-deck circle. And the first pitch is swung on and a roller to short, backhanded by the shortstop, over to first. And the throw is low but dug out by the first baseman. And that ends the inning very quickly. Nothing across for the DC Rockets. We go to the top of the 6th. Seattle 15, that's the Cascades, and the DC Rockets 8, here on the Cloud Sports Network.
And since this 6th inning will start, we will finish at least 6 innings because the Rockets are the home team and will get their last at bats after the Cascade come up and see if they can keep the ball in the park. And the umpire chatting with one of the members of the Cascades here. I can't see the number.
Greenspan.
All right.
Longtime umpire. Batter to lead off this inning is going to be Joey Whirl, number 25. And the first pitch to him. No pitch, no pitch.
Looks like one of the Rockets had not made it out there yet.
A right fielder was not out there. All right, now Fidel Reyes about ready to throw the first pitch of the inning. Seattle again has hit their number of home runs. There's a bouncing ball to third, and then beyond the third baseman's glove and on into left field for a leadoff hit. All right, the batter will be Gage Webster. Leadoff man on. His team is leading by 7. This is the visitors' half of the 6th inning, and the first pitch to Webster is a ball. And the next one is on the plate, 3 balls and 1 strike. And that pitch is a strike called. It's 3-2. And that's the first out here. And the runner at first goes back to first base. Gage Webster is out. And the batter is Chris Gott. And there's a ground ball up the middle and on into center field for a base hit. Base on the base hit by Chris Gott. And that'll bring up Boogie Long.
The Cascades just placing the ball very well in this infield on those hits to get through all 5 defenders.
Boogie Long in this ball game has batted for the 4th time. No pitch. He has scored every time he's been on. 2 singles and a double.
And I take it back. Actually, the Rockets are back to having 4 outfielders here.
And the pitch swung on, and that is a fly ball. Hits a deep right center field, and the ball is off the fence. A run is going to score, and the other runner held at second base. Whirl came home to score. It's now 16-8.
And I don't know, it looked like that fielder might have had a play on it, and then it got back to the ball and off the wall, which is sort of the worst thing that could happen for the Rockets. If it goes over the fence, they're out of the inning.
It is a long single. There's a ground ball up the middle and on into center field for a base hit. That will leave the bases loaded. Chris Scott to third. The runner for Boogie Long is at second. Mike Bates at first. Jeremy Frank with the bases loaded. Illegal pitch, but he goes after it anyway and grounds one into center field for a hit. A run will score. Chris Scott scores, and now the other runner tries to score, and he's safe. A single and an RBI for Jeremy Frank. And then the other runner scores is not a run batted in, but nevertheless, it's a 3-run inning so far for Seattle, and they lead now 18-8. But remember, they are the visiting team, so the run rule does not come into place, at least for now. And that pitch is a ball.
And I'm trying to get a copy of the rules up on my phone, Rich, but I actually think in past years, championship games have actually been untimed.
I want one more.
So with 3 runs in, it's now 18 inning.
The other runners moved up to second and third, where they are with 2 out, and the batter Lee Mesestrano. First pitch about to be thrown by Fidel Reyes is high, but he goes after it anyway and hits one into right center field. Is down for a hit. 2 runs will score. Bates scores, and Frank scores. Runs number 4 and 5 of the inning, and now it is 20-8. And here is James Campbell. It's a single, and 2 RBIs for Mesestrano. Campbell takes the ball, and he swings and golfs one into right field, and that ball is in for a hit. Mesestrano around second on his way to third. Campbell into second. It's a double. Runners at second and third and 2 out. And for the second time in this game, the team has batted around. Zach Elmore, the 10th batter in the inning. Inside for a ball. Here's the next pitch, and that is high and deep. 3 balls and 1 strike, and here's the pitch. It's a strike called. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, runners at second and third. There have been 5 runs scored in the inning by Seattle. There's a swing and a ball hit out into right field. The catch is made. The inning is over. 5 more runs, though, do come across here in the top of the 6th for Seattle. So we go to the bottom of the 6th. The DC Rockets need 12 to tie and 13 to win here on the Cloud Sports Network.
Introducing Happy Thursday, the bubble-free spiked refresher with bold fruit flavor. Weekend flavor any day of the week. Happy Thursday.
Commercial there. The Cascade are now up 20-8 as we go into the 6th inning. Again, we're going to check the rules, but the championship games most years are not timed, actually. They go the full 7 because it's the championship. So, but the run rules are in effect. So if we've got that part of this right, then the Rockets need 12 to tie, 13 to win, but they would also need 3 to even get a 6th inning because the 5th inning being up by 10 would be the run rule.
First pitch to Aaron Fishbach is a strike. The 1 and 2 misses.
Yep, we just got confirmation we will be going the full 7 unless there is a run rule here.
And the next one hit the plate. Fishbach swings and he grounds one to short. It goes underneath the shortstop's glove, fielded by the middle fielder, but no play. Fidel Reyes, the batter, grounded to short, and he has reached on a single.
Cascade still in defensive positioning with 5 infielders that wheel right behind second, usually shading a little in the direction of whichever side the batter is on.
Courtesy runner at first base. Charlie Bruno is going to be the runner. And the pitch to Fidel is a ball. And he swings and he hits a roller to short. Shortstop to the middle fielder for 1, over to first. Double play.
The leadoff batter.
And so Chris Roche needs to get on. Otherwise, it will be the run rule because we are in the 6th inning, and the run rule is 10 after 5. There is a fly ball or liner hit out into right center field. That gets down for a hit. They're still alive. Batter will be Frank Daly. Woohoo. He has reached twice. He has also made an out. He has walked and he has also singled. And the pitch to him, he swings and hits a ground ball to second, over to the middle fielder, and that ends the game. So the have forced a game, an if game, as they defeat the DC Rockets. The final score, Seattle 20 and the DC Rockets 8. We have another game coming on this field, and as soon as we know, you'll know. But for now, do you have anything to add?
I think that was an amazing game, a little bit back and forth early, and then Cascades took control with the offense. With the wind blowing in over there at Shadow Rock. And I think it'll be another great game to watch as these two are playing each other again.
What we don't know is if that game will continue on this field. Rick Sakalaris, along with umpire-in-chief David Wade, are talking with home plate umpire Al Munkus. But we want to take a chance to at least take a little break and refresh. So we are going to say we'll be back with you in just a few minutes. Thanks for being with us on the Cloud Sports Network. The B Division has forced an if game as Seattle has defeated the DC Rockets 20-8. For all of us, we'll talk to you as soon as we know what we're doing here for our next game. Thanks for being with us.